Hey guys, welcome to the EduTech. Today we'll go through the OOPS interview questions and answer. First question is, what is OOPS? Answer: OOPS is abbreviated as an object-oriented programming system in which programs are considered as a collection of objects. Each object is nothing but an instance of a class. Our second question, what are the main features of object-oriented programming? Answer: there are the four main features. First one is inheritance, second encapsulation, third polymorphism, fourth abstraction. Question number 3. What are the advantages of object-oriented programming? Highly complex problems can be handled by object-oriented programming. Second, it provides an efficient mechanism for code reuse using inheritance, which reduces redundancy. Third, it provides a mechanism for hiding data. Fourth, it is based on a bottom-up approach. Fifth, it offers flexibility through polymorphism. 6. It improves maintainability of the code. Question number 4. What is the difference between OOPS and SOP? First point is, object-oriented programming is a type of programming which is based on an object rather than just a function and procedure, where the structural programming provides a logical structure to a program where the programs are divided into functions. Second, object-oriented programming having the bottom-up approach, where the structural programming have the top-down approach. Third, object-oriented programming provides the data heading, where the structural programming does not provide the data heading. Fourth, object-oriented programming can solve the problems of any complexity, where the structural programming can solve the moderate problems. Fifth, object-oriented programming code can be reused, thereby reducing the redundancy, where the structural programming does not support the code reusability. Question number 5. What is object-oriented programming? Answer: object-oriented programming refers to the programming paradigm defined using the object instead of any functions and methods. The objects contain data called fields or attributes and methods that provide the logic or supporting code. It provides the capabilities such as inheritance, polymorphism, encapsulation, and abstraction. Question number 6. What is an object? Answer: an object is a real-world entity which is the basic unit of OOPS. For example, chair, cat, dog, etc. Different objects have a different state or attributes and behaviors. Question number 7. What is class? Answer: a class is a prototype that consists of objects in a different state and with a different behaviors. It has a number of methods that are common the object presents within that class. Example, a vehicle may be defined as a class. Question number 8. Is it always necessary to create an object from a class? Answer: no, it is possible to call the base class method if it is defined as a static method. Question number 9. What is constructor? Answer: a constructor method is used for initializing the objects. They are special types of methods and have the same name as a class. Question number 10. List the various types of constructor. Answer: multiple types of constructor that are supported across multiple object-oriented programming languages are: first, default constructor; second, copy constructor; third, static constructor; fourth, private constructor; fifth, parameterized constructor. Question number 11. Define a destructor. Answer: a destructor is a method which is automatically called when the object is a method of a scope or destroyed. Destructor name is also same as a class name, but with the tilde symbol before the name. Question number 12. What is inline function? Answer: an inline function is a technique used by the compilers and the instruct to insert a complete body of a function wherever that the function is used in a program source code. What is encapsulation? Answer: encapsulation is also a part of OOPS concept. It refers to the building of data with the methods that operates on the data. It also helps to restrict any direct access to some of the object components. Question number 14. What is abstraction? Answer: Abstraction is an OOPS concept to build the structure of the real world objects. It shows only essential attributes and hides unnecessary information from the outside world. The main focus on the abstraction is to hide the unnecessary details from the users. It is one of the most important concepts of OOPS. Question number 15. What is polymorphism with the example? Answer. The general meaning of a polymorphism is one that has a different forms. The best real-world example of a polymorphism is a person that plays different roles at different places or situations. Example, at a home, person can play a role of father, husband, and a son. At the office, the same person plays the role of boss or employee. In a public transport, he plays the role as a passenger. In the hospital, he can play the role of a doctor or a patient. At the stop, he plays the role of a customer. Question number 16. What is different between a base class and a superclass? Answer. The base class is a root class, the most generalized class. Answer. The base class is a root class, the most generalized class. At the same time, the superclass is the immediate parent class from which the other class inherits. Question number 17. What is static polymorphism? Answer. Static polymorphism is a kind of polymorphism that occurs at a compile time. An example of a compile time polymorphism is overloading. Question number 18. What is dynamic polymorphism? Answer. Runtime polymorphism or a dynamic polymorphism is a type of polymorphism which resolved during the runtime. An example of runtime polymorphism is a method overriding. Question number 19. What is method overloading? Answer. Method overloading is a feature of OOPS which makes it possible to give the same name to more than one method within the class if the argument passed differs. Question number 20. What is method overriding? Method overriding is a feature of OOPS by which the child class or subclass can redefine methods present in the base class or parent class. Here the method that is overridden has the same name as well as the signature, meaning the argument passed and return time. Question number 21. What is abstract class? Answer. An abstract class is a class that consists of abstract methods. These methods are basically declared but not defined. If these methods are to be used in some subclass, they need to be exclusively defined in the subclass. Question number 22. What is an interface? Answer. It is concept of OOPS that allows you to declare a method without defining them. Interface, unlike classes, are not blueprints because they do not contain detailed instruction or action to be performed. Any class that implements an interface defines the method of the interface. Question number 23. What is meant by garbage collection in the OOPS world? Answer. Object-oriented programming revolves around entities like objects. Each object consumes memory and there can be multiple objects of a class. So if these objects and their memories are not handled properly, then it might lead to a certain memory related errors and the system might fail. Garbage collection refers to this mechanism of handling the memory in a program. Through the garbage collection, the unwanted memory is freed up by removing the objects that are no longer needed. Question number 24. What is copy constructor? Answer. Copy constructor creates object by copying variable from another object of the same class. The main aim of the copy constructor is to create a new object from an existing one. Question number 25. Can you please explain the concept of inheritance with an example? Answer. The inheritance is a powerful feature of an object-oriented programming which allows classes to inherit properties and methods from the other classes. This helps improve code reuse. For example, a base class represents a logical concept such as a vehicle that may define only the common properties shared by all types of vehicle. However, the child classes can inherit from this base class to define a more specific types of classes such as a truck, a car or bus. In this case, the child classes will inherit the common attributes of the vehicle and will be able to define attributes method specific to its own. Question number 26. What are the limitations of inheritance? The inheritance requires more processing time for the programs as it has to navigate various classes during the execution. Due to inheritance, the parent and child class are tightly coupled. When any changes are needed in the logic, it may require the changes in both the parent and child class. If the inheritance is not correctly implemented, it can lead to undesired results. Question number 27. What are the various types of inheritance? Answer. Single inheritance. Single child class inherit characteristics of the single parent class. Multiple inheritance. One class inherits a feature of more than one base class and is not supported in Java, but the class can implement more than one interface. Multi-level inheritance. A class can inherit from the derived class, making it a base class for a new class. For example, a child inherits behavior from his father, and the father has inherited characteristics from his father. Hierarchical inheritance. One class is inherited by multiple subclasses. Hybrid inheritance. This is a combination of a single and multiple inheritance. Question number 28. Explain the difference between the abstract class and methods. Objects cannot be created from the abstract class, where the abstract method has a signature but does not have a body. Second point, subclass created or inherit abstract class to access a member of abstract class, where in the abstract method it is compulsory to override the abstract method of a superclass in their subclasses. Third point, abstract class can contain the abstract method or non-abstract method, where in the abstract method, class containing the abstract method should be made abstract class. Question number 29. What are the difference between the method and constructor? First point, constructor's name should be matched within that class, where the method should not have the same name as a class name. Second point, in the constructor they are used to create the initialize and allocate memory to the object, wherein the methods are used to execute certain statements written inside them. Third point, constructors are implicitly invoked by a system whenever objects are created, wherein the methods are invoked when it is called. Fourth point, constructors are invoked using the new keyword while creating an instance of that class, wherein the methods are invoked during the program execution. Fifth point, constructor does not have a return tag, where the method has the return tag. Sixth point, constructor cannot be inherited by the subclass, where the methods can be inherited by the subclass. Question number 30. What is the difference between the runtime and compile time polymorphism? First point, compile time polymorphism call is resolved by the compiler in a compile time polymorphism, where in the runtime polymorphism call is not resolved by the compiler in a runtime polymorphism. Second point, it is compile time polymorphism. It is also known as the static binding and the method overloading, whereas the runtime polymorphism is also known as the dynamic let and the method overriding. Third point, in the compile time polymorphism, same name methods with the different parameters or methods with the same signature and different return times are compile time polymorphism, where in the runtime polymorphism, same name methods with the same parameter or signature associated in the different classes are called a method overriding. Fourth point, in the compile time polymorphism, it is achieved by a function and operator overloading, where in the runtime polymorphism it can be achieved by a pointer and virtual functions. Fifth point, in compile time polymorphism, as called, the things are executed at the compile time. Compile time polymorphism is less flexible, where the runtime polymorphism, as the things execute at runtime polymorphism is more flexible. Question number 31. What types of argument can be used in Java? Answer. For Java methods and functions, parameter data can be sent and received in a different way. If a method B is called from method A, and method A is a caller function and method B is a called function, arguments sent by a method A is actual arguments and parameters of a method B is called formal arguments. Call by value. Changes made to the formal parameters do not get sent back to the caller method A. This method is called by value. Java supports the call by value. Call by reference. Changes made to a formal parameters are sent back to a caller method B. Is called as a call by reference. Any changes in a formal parameters are reflected in actual parameters. This is called by a reference. Question number 32. What is aggregation? Answer. The concept of aggregation is a type of another relationship in which one object is composed of the other object, but in lifetimes of object not tied to each other. So aggregation is referred to as a relationship between the objects, but it does not imply ownership. For example, a department has many employees, so we can say department object has a collection of employee objects and lifetime of an employee not tied to each other or existing of departments. If we remove employees, the department can continue to exist, and if we end the department, the individual employee can continue to exist and do their own thing. Question number 33. What is composition? Composition is a more specific form of aggregation. It is based on has a relationship between the object, but it implies the ownership. For example, a car has an engine or its own an engine. Composition implies the ownership, so an engine has no purpose without the car. In composition, if the owning object is destroyed, the contained objects are destroyed too. So in programming, if you are defining a owning class, you may need to write a constructor and destructor methods to take care of creating and deleting internal objects. Question number 34. What is association? Answer. Association is referred to as a structural relationship between the classes of objects where one object instance causes another to perform some operation on its behalf. Association does not represent the behavior, rather than it allows to associate one type of object with another type of objects. Association relationship can be one to one, one to many, many to one, and many to many. For example, a role can belong to one or many users, and one user may have one or more than one role. Question number 35. What is delegation? Delegation allows the object to perform some operation or action beyond the scope of the object. For example, some parents are working professionals, so they hire a baby caretaker. But what will happen if the baby gets sick? There is a note on a table: in case of emergency, please call XYZ on 999. So XYZ is the delegate here. Question number 36. What is the cohesion? Answer. Cohesion in a software engineering is a degree to which the elements of a certain module belong together. Thus, it is a measure of how strongly related each piece of a functionality expressed by the source code of a software module is. Cohesion refers to what the class can do. Low cohesion would mean that the class does a great variety of actions. It is bored, unfocused, and what it should do. High cohesion means that the class is focused on what it should be doing. That is only method relating to the intention of the class. What is coupling? Answer. For a coupling, it refers to how related or dependent two classes modules are towards each other. For low-coupled classes, changing something major in one class should not affect the other. High coupling would make it difficult to change and maintain your code, since classes are closely knit together. Making a change could require an entire system revamp. Good software design has a high cohesion and low coupling. Thank you.